today I'll be showing you how to create a simple web server using Bun.js. For those who have not interacted with Bun is a runtime environment that allows you to run JavaScript outside the browser, and Bun falls under the category of Node.js and Dino, but Bun is a little bit faster than Node or Dino according to my own view, and it's much easier to run JavaScript code with little to no configuration, and it supports even TypeScript outside the box. So today I'll be showing you how to just make a simple web server. Then in the series we'll be just following through, and just we can make like maybe a simple project that we can use to experiment on different features that Bun offers us. So with no delay, let us get straight into it. So what you need first is the Bun runtime first, and you can get the installation file or the application from bun.com. So if you're using Linux or Mac, you can use curl. If you're using Windows, there is PowerShell, and I think there is an executable if I'm not wrong, but you can follow through and install it inside your machine. For me, I've already installed it, so I'll open my terminal. First, and maybe let me zoom just a bit. So, and to know if you have installed Bun correctly, you just run bun __ version, just like that. I'm running 1.2.16, but any version that will show on your machine, it's good to go. So to initialize a Bun project is easy. You just type or before I type, maybe I can create a folder where I will store my files. So I can make directory. I will name it web server. So you can just create any folder of your naming of your choice and just create your project inside there. So for me, I will create mine inside that folder. And to create or initialize a new Bun project, it's easy. Just type Bun followed by init, just like that, and you just press enter. We will be using the blank template, so you can use React or other libraries, but today we'll keep it vanilla Bun.js. So blank, so you wait for it to install. So after it has completed, you can open the project inside your favorite editor. As for me, I'll be using Visual Studio Code, so I'll just write code, then followed by a period, full stop, then press enter to open VS Code inside the same folder. So just like that, you are good to go. So it comes with a lot of files. So the node modules, the classic node modules, for those who are coming from the node ecosystem, so you know this is where it stores some packages files or library files. There is the git ignore, where you can state the files that you don't want to be version controlled by Git. There is the bun lock to keep the version dependencies, exact version dependencies, and there is the index.ts. So Bun supports TypeScript outside the box, and TypeScript is the preferred language that is used by Bun. Although you can use JavaScript, there is no problem, but it has first-class support for TypeScript. So, and running the project, it's easy. You can open your terminal, then just run bun run index.js. So index.ts, because it's a TypeScript file here. Then just press enter. You'll see that it has console logged this output over here. So the next step that we have to do is just initialize our server, and that's easy because Bun.js has a very intuitive API for creating web servers, so you don't need third-party frameworks or libraries. You can just create your own server simply. So what do I will access the Bun object, the global object, then dot serve. Then inside here I will pass in some configurations. So I will pass in an object literal, then firstly I will pass the port. So you can pass the port where the web server will be listening requests, where the server will be listening to incoming and outgoing requests. So port, I love using port 8000, but you can use any port. Then there is a function that you have to use called fetch. So this function takes the request as a parameter. Then here you can just write your normal server code. Then it expects you to return a response. That's why you're seeing the red squiggly. So let me return. So return a new response instance, and let me pass text like hello Bun server. With just that, you have just created a simple Bun server. So what this fetch request does, this acts like a fallback function for incoming requests. So maybe if you don't have any routes defined, this fetch will be executed by default. So you can see it like the express middleware, whereby you can define, like maybe you have some routes here, you can just define your for logic inside this, because if no route is matched, this function is run automatically. So let us test and see if our web server is running. So I'll just return back to the terminal and just type bun run index.ts, ts. Then it is running, but you cannot see something, but we can just add a console log over here. So I can just console.log, you can see something like server is running on port 8000, just like that. And just I will go back and just run it. So bun run index.ts, as easy as that. You can just press enter and you see like the console log is being printed here, saying that the server is listening for incoming requests. So I can go back to my Chrome and just open the URL. So it's simple, just type local hosts and port 8000. Like that, you can see it has shown our response over here. This is the code, that the response that we returned on this simple web server. So Bun also have a very good routing system. So maybe you can use, if you want to redirect users to a certain route, or you want a certain route to just return some certain HTML, or just you're writing some API routes, Bun server enables you with its simple and straightforward routing system. So let us see. I will come here and define the routes property. So it's a property inside the serve function, or the serve configuration. Then in itself you can define an object literal, whereby here you can use all the HTTP verbs that are used: get, post, put, patch, so on and so forth. So maybe we can start with simple get request. So I can just define get, and I can define the get request. So no, first you have to define the route path. Sorry for that. So the route path, you start from maybe from slash, so home, the root route. Then over here you pass in again another object, literal. So here is where you define either it's a post request or it's a get request. So we can first see the get request, then give it a function as its value, so like that. So this get request, as similar to the fetch function here, it expects you to return a response. So this will match if someone visits the root route or the slash, it will first execute this if it is a get request. So I can return new response and just type this is my route. Simple. And when you visit, like, I have to stop the server and restart it for us to see the changes, but I'll show you how to hot reload the server without stopping the server and rerunning it again. So I'll go ahead and just run bun, run index.ts, then I'll go back to my browser and refresh, and as you can see that it has changed from the one that we returned here, because this, as you can remember, I told you that this is like a fallback route if there are no predefined routes. So this function will be run, but for now we have defined this and it's a get request. So if you just type like this, the root route, no, not that, as you can see like that, you'll see it redirects or returns the response that we have written here. And just as a note, it also takes the request parameter as an argument. It takes a request argument, so you can manipulate the request inside here. Maybe you can check the URL, you can check the body of from a HTML form, maybe JSON that is returned. You can just use the request. So you can see this is the get request. You can do similar one using the post request, and you just use post, then you give it a callback function or an arrow function, then you pass in the request. It takes a request argument or parameter, then just return new response. So you can return in text form, in JSON. So in our case, let us just return JSON for just illustration purposes. So I can just delete the new keyword and just return response.json. So here is where I can define my body or my JSON, and I can do something like, I can give an object the message property of from a post's requests, like that. And you can also define some properties like the status, like another object, so status to 200, and maybe some headers. You can define some headers indicating that the content type is JSON, so like that. And just I can use content type, so content type to application /JSON. Yes, and here we have an error because I forgotten about the comma, so like that. And to run this post request, we might need Postman or some API running client. So for now, you can use just this simple VS Code extension called Thunder Client. Just click on new request and just type in your URL. So it's a HTTP protocol, which is localhosts, localhosts, which it listens on port 8000, and it is a slash request, and it's a post request. So let me restart the server because of the changes that I've made and rerun it afresh. So with that, I can send, and you can see we are getting our JSON back. So this, as you can see, it's just simple and straightforward with you don't need any extra third-party libraries or frameworks to do these simple things. Bun got you solved. Now you can go ahead and just define as many routes as you want. So I can define like /shop, then maybe I'll define it as a get requests, which I will pass in this argument over here, and just return simple new response. Maybe I will return some texts, just type something like shopping page, then this comma over here. Then when I stop the server and run it again and visit /shop, you can see I'm getting the response back. So that's how you do routing inside the Bun.js server. So another thing I may want to show you is maybe you want to return some HTML as a response. You can do that easily by just doing this. So I'll define another route called I can name it blog, and first I'll define the get HTTP verb or request, which takes the request here, and I will use arrow functions. And first I have to create maybe a container or a folder where I'll be storing my HTML or views. So I'll come here, just create a folder called views, and you can name it whatever you want. And then I will create blogs.html. Just define just a simple h1, like welcome to my blog, welcome to my blog, like that. And then over here I will read the file, then pass it as a response. So it's simple. Let me declare a variable, we'll call it const, then the name of the variable HTML. Then I will use the bun file or the file API to read the HTML. So I have to pass bun.file, then pass in the path, which is the same directory on a folder called views. Then inside there is blogs.html, just like that. And then return the response. I will return now the HTML as the response. So new response, then pass in the HTML. Then you can pass some configuration, maybe the status. I will pass the status as a 200, meaning it's a success. Then pass some headers to indicate that I'm returning content type of type HTML. So content type is of application slash HTML or texts dot HTML, just like that. And you can see how easy it is. So if you read the HTML file, then you return the HTML inside the response and let Bun do the rest. So let me stop the server and just run it afresh, and if I refresh or just visit this route, so blog, you can see my HTML has been printed successfully on your screen. Yes, so it doesn't get easier than this. So that's how you can return some HTML. So if you're into templating, you can use EJS for templating, but for now you'll be seeing some other examples, maybe using EJS for templating or passing dynamic content from the backend to the front end. So in order to enable hot reloading inside your server, to prevent stopping the server and rerunning it again, you just have to pass this simple flag when running your server file. So I'll show you. You just run bun run, then you can pass in the -- hot, then followed by the name of the file, index.ts. With that, any changes that you make, it will reflect without restarting the terminal or stopping the server and starting it again. So maybe I've changed that. You can see that it has reloaded, and when I visit the /shop, you can see it has changed. Maybe I can change something else so you can see how it does it. So I can maybe put this side by side and just do something like shopping page, like that. So if I refresh, you can see it has hot reloaded our server. So that's how you can just create a simple HTTP Bun server using no libraries, just the runtime itself. And practically you can do a lot of things. If you want me to make a video of maybe a full project, maybe a blogging website, or maybe a to-do app using only Bun and HTML, you can tell me on the comment section what kind of project would you like for us to do, or for me to show you how to develop these applications using Bun.js. And just to add, this serve returns an object which you can store inside a variable. So we can create a constant called server, like that. So through that you can access different parts of the server. So for example, here I can just use a dynamic route by a dynamic port number by using string templating in JavaScript, and just use the server dot port, like that. So you can see just takes the port and goes on and prints it over here. So you can just use, even like there is the reload one. So maybe you want to extend that server function using some other routes. So I can use server dot reload, and over here you can just continue using the routes and define them as per this structure. So we can say like something like reload and just use this function and return new response for something like reload route. So something simple like this. And if I go to /reload, you can see it just returns the response as expected. So I think that's just a simple, or just the tip of the iceberg of what you can do with this powerful API Bun has offered. There are so many things that you can do with it, and I hope I'll be showing you how we'll be experimenting with some features on the coming videos. And I would like to know what kind of topics would you like for me to cover inside this YouTube channel, and I'll be glad or happy to do them for you. So I think that's all for this video, and let us meet on the next video.